All right, watch the stove.
We got past it this time.
We got past it.
I think it's... Fuck.
We need to replace that chair, dude.
Dude, we need to replace all these chairs. I say we as like I live here.
Like, this is our problem. It's my problem to fix solely. What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 4.
I was like, is it 4?
44? Yeah, episode 44 of the Lunchtime Saturday podcast. Dude, we've been doing it for almost a year.
This is going to be so loud.
It's going to be really loud. All right, excuse us while we unwrap our loud-ass, wet-ass burritos.
Dude, I'm so excited, though.
This is the...
Nothing better than a wet-ass burrito.
For the ASMR lovers out there, this is the episode for you.
Oof. Oh, man. So, today's food is coming to you hot from Que Rico's Tacos?
Que Rico's Tacos.
Okay, tight. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do this under the table so it's not just like really fucking loud.
Well, I sleep.
Sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
Damn.
All
right.
Oh, I was supposed to start this. Big yikes. It's fine.
Big yikes. We're just about a minute behind. It's fine. All right, let's see. First bite, real quick.
Cool. Wait, what's the meat in this again? Is it good?
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah. The meat is called machaca. And it's basically like dehydrated spiced beef. And then it's rehydrated and put in food. And it's fucking good. Holy shit. I was going to go with chorizo, but I'm glad I didn't.
That like almost kind of tastes like suadero.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. Oh, that's good. Oh, fuck. Here, we were talking about this like before we kicked this off, that like we live in a place where like Mexican, Latin food in general is like very like accessible. Like this is just like, this is the place for it, other than maybe like El Paso, Texas. And like most of the time,
Mexico.
Yeah, or actual Mexico. But like a lot of the times it's like you get sick of like the things that you're eating all the time. But I could 100% eat tacos every fucking day of my life and be fine with it.
All the time.
I have absolutely no problems with it whatsoever. Is this salsa? Or is it hot sauce?
Salsa.
Oh, fuck, dude.
It's good, too.
That's a liquidy ass salsa. Oh,
I don't know if we'll ever find a time where we eat food that's not just like liquidy and squishy.
I don't know.
Is there any food that's not liquidy and squishy? Like a salad.
Yeah. But then like should you get all of like the crunchy sounds? Yeah.
Whatever.
Like, we're not going to get away from it, but I think it adds to it. It adds to the immersion.
Dude, did you watch the fight last night? No, there was a fight last night because I didn't, but I ended up watching it.
What fight?
UFC, the like championships or whatever fuck they're called. Dude, holy fucking shit. All right, I don't think I've ever watched a UFC fight ever in my entire life.
Yeah, same.
But last night apparently was like the championship round or something like that, and there was like 5 bouts, and like the first 3 are like whatever, just kind of fillers, and then they've got like the co-main event, and then like the main event. And
love me a main event.
Love me a main event. So I went to Dave & Buster's with Ray and Jess. Like adults do, you know.
Dude, that's incredible. I've been to a Dave & Buster's once, no, twice. First time was just like with my friends. Second time was really high and surrounded by children, and it was not a good time. So I'm glad that you had a wonderful time.
I had a good time. The one in Hollywood becomes 21 plus after 10 p.m.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's good. They like have a line to ID people. It's like a club. It's fucking sick. Like they have bouncers. It's kind of tight.
I'm gonna go on down to fucking Dave & Buster's, get real lit on a Saturday night.
Dude. So it was packed, and I'm like, maybe it's just the fact that it's Saturday, but like it was extra packed, like at the bar and like the food area, because we ate there too, like adults.
Yeah. Wait, is Ray into UFC?
No, I don't think.
Oh, you guys were just there for it?
Coincidentally went to Dave & Buster's because I was like, you guys want to hang out? Like, they're like, yeah. Do you want to see Onward? And I was like, yeah, like adults.
Dude, this is the best thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The more I learn about Ray, the more I love that guy.
Sorry. Trying hard not to talk through my squish.
Those were words, I swear to God.
So anyways, they're like, you want to see Onward? And we're like, dude, I want to see Onward. It was sold out. So I was like, the next
Fully sold out?
Fully sold out.
How?
Man. I think it just like came out last weekend or this weekend or something. I don't know. High demand apparently.
Dude, Pixar, man.
But like, okay, next best thing, Dave & Buster's, which was a great choice. Anyway, so we get there at around like 8:30 p.m. Fuck, this is and bar's packed, but it says please seat yourself. So we're like, okay, well, we look around for like, we all split up. We look around for like 10 minutes, finally find a spot. We sit down, and then like everyone starts crowding around the TVs, and we're like, holy shit. And they're all playing the same channel. Like usually, it's a mix of sports or whatever. Like they're all playing the same channel. And I'm like, what is going on? Like
Dave & Buster's a quintessential sports bar,
quintessential sports bar. Absolutely. So I'm like, all right, something's happening. And then it opens up to like an octagon. We're like, oh fuck, it's like a fight. All right, cool. I've never seen a UFC fight, whatever. So we watched like the first couple of rounds, and it was just like some dudes fighting each other, whatever. The first one of them got like a technical knockout, which was pretty sick. Actually, it was kind of nuts to watch. The others went all 5 rounds, and they all were decided
real
by
quick
judges.
Can you imagine going like that long of just getting the shit kicked out of you? That sounds like an
25 minutes straight.
That sounds like absolute hell.
A minute break in between. Just that's like insane, absolutely dude. Just bop, bop, bop.
Oh, that's terrifying. Oh my God, I hate that.
The floor is just covered in blood. Like, it's terrifying. It's seriously like, how the fuck is this allowed? Are there rules? I don't know anything about UFC. Are there rules? Because it didn't seem like it. Because like literally in this one fight,
I think there's 6 rules, and one of them is you can't kill the other person.
The other one is like no knives.
No weapons.
Dude was like on the ground, like going like this, and this guy's just like slamming into him with his elbow right in his face. I'm like, that seems illegal, but apparently not.
In like civilized society, that's called battery.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, guy gets a technical knockout, whatever. And then all of a sudden, like all the lights go down in the arena after this commercial break. And then it's like the women's bout. So this is a co-main event. And there are these 2 women, and Zhang from China and JJ.
I was seeing a bunch of like advertisements about this at like the gym.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Yeah. Zhang and JJ. JJ's from Poland. And her name is like Joanna Jedershnestedich or something, some crazy Polish name. A lot of syllables and consonants.
There you go.
That's what the word I was looking for. Z's and C's and G's and J's and K's and whatever.
Yep.
So they call her JJ. And
the Americans just like have to simplify it because they're just like, we don't know.
Dude, I have no clue. So whatever, we watch JJ's like super like boastful, and she's like, like coming at like the camera follows her out of the locker room, and she's like going like this, and like she's like punching the air and like cheering.
Do you think they have locker room talk if it's just like one person?
I don't know.
Do you think she just like sits there talking to herself like everybody else?
Maybe.
Okay.
But she walks out with all her coaches and her handlers and stuff, walking around the ring like this, whatever. Yeah. And so then the lights go out again, and then Zhang comes out, and she's like, dude, they're so ripped, it's insane.
Oh, it's terrifying.
They're so
it's
ripped.
absolutely
it's
horrifying.
Incredible. But she's like,
if I had one of their abs, I would immediately just be like that much hotter.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
Terrifying.
Their biceps are massive. Anyway, so Zhang comes out, and she's like very subdued, very whatever, like just kind of like, she's walking with her coaches, not really saying anything, not doing any like kind of crazy gestures. And I'm like, oh shit, like she knows what's up. Like,
she's about to kill somebody.
I was like, dude, she's gonna fucking win. Like, so I was like, I had my bets were placed on her since the beginning.
You open up DraftKings real quick.
Yeah, and I was like, she's gonna win. Look, here she is. Go, place a bet.
2-1, let's go.
Yeah. And so whatever, the fight starts, and just like it went 5 rounds. It went all 5 rounds, 5 minutes each, and like they're fucking going at each other. They both got some great hits in. But then sometime in like the 3rd round or 4th round, maybe, Zhang had this just crazy like right hook, or maybe it was a left hook. What I don't know what it is. She had a hook.
Wait, one of her hands hit the other person's face. That's what we're going at.
JJ right in the forehead, right?
Oh fuck.
And then like she got knocked back, but then whatever, she keeps fighting. And then like as the minutes progress into the round, this huge bump starts forming on her forehead, like huge. Like she had a hematoma in her fucking forehead, right?
She just like burst a blood
and it was
vessel.
just like real big, real nasty and whatever. So after the round ends, 4th round ends, they go to their corners and they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? Whatever. And they're like kind of like trying to numb it and stuff. And by the end of the 5th round, her entire forehead like had like eclipsed over her eyebrows, and she literally like, let me show you a picture, dude. It's nuts.
Oh my God. Here's the thing, dude. Like they talk about like cauliflower ear and stuff like that. Like, you burst blood vessels in your ears and shit like that. But like that's something I've never heard of.
Oh, dude, it is scary.
Because I feel like you can't do that with just like one singular blood vessel, like in your whole forehead. That had to fuck up like a lot of things in her face. Oh my God,
isn't that
dude.
insane? So like
What?
looking like Megamind, like it's fucking nuts.
She's the crimson chin, but it's her forehead.
But it's her forehead.
Dude, that's insane.
Isn't that scary? So she was just like a huge, like all these blood vessels are bursting.
What does she look like normally? That's what I want to know. Dude, that is crazy. Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
No, dude.
Isn't that nuts? But then both of them are like their faces are just beat the fuck up and just covered in blood and whatever, and like their eyes are like shut because like just swelling in their face and they're bleeding all over the place. But yeah, she had that crazy hematoma on her forehead. Like it was very concerning, like that's super concerning.
Actually terrible.
She just checked out of the hospital like an hour or so ago. She said she's fine. They said she's fine. Her team said
they probably just like poke some toothpicks into her forehead. And they're just like, all right,
let's drain it.
They're just like, just let it go.
Ew. Oh god.
Not what you like.
I hated that. Fucking hated that. As I pour.
I was about to say, you pour red
shit
stuff all over your taco. Burrito, same thing. Apparently, burritos like are not Mexican. They're like they're American, like in origin.
Interesting.
And I was just like, oh, neat. Well, that's kind of depressing.
Who
but
knew?
I didn't know that I was lied to this much by the American government.
Fuck, I've been bamboozled.
Yeah, right.
But
apparently, like just like so many things, food wise. Like I knew like the whole like French fries. Obviously not French. What the fuck? Why would they fry shit like that?
What?
And like fortune cookies, not Chinese at all. They're like made in New York. Dude, I can't. No, I refuse. I refuse to believe that. But it's like it's just so interesting because I'm just like, oh, this is great. And then like the moment you start eating like non-flour tortillas and like small tacos with like some sweet al pastor, like then you're like, all right, this is better.
I get it.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, cool. Yeah, now I see the difference between quality and like just the Americanized. Like, let's just make this easy for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, dude, the fight was absolutely insane, and then Zhang ended up winning by decision because it was because close.
The other person had like double the size of her mass and her forehead.
Exactly.
That's insane.
But it was crazy because like everyone was in the bar area, and like anytime someone would get a shot in, everyone was just screaming. It was so loud. It was literally like we were watching like the Super Bowl or something. Like it was so electric in there.
Dude, I never really realized that UFC had such a big following because I was always just like, for me, I was just like, this is kind of barbaric. I was like, it's kind of tight because it's like there's so much like technical skill that goes into that shit.
But dude, it's hard to watch. It is hard to watch.
Absolutely. I'm like, I don't really want to watch two people just beat the shit out of each other. I was like, it's kind of fucked up. And so like, every time I see like these people are getting so much money to do fights, these people are getting so much money like to do pay-per-views and like other passes and stuff like that, I'm always just like, man, how like people watch this?
Yeah.
And then like you look at the ratings for them and you're like, oh, a lot of people watch this. And I feel like it's very like international too. Like I feel like UFC is like kind of big in Europe. Like they can just watch it.
Oh, super. And like, I mean, think about like the KSI Logan Paul fight. I mean,
that's true.
It was huge. Pay-per-view, like
which is also just insane.
Millions of people watched.
Like I would love to watch them do like UFC instead.
Yeah.
Like just to watch them beat the shit out of each other rather than just boxing.
That would
which
be
like
great.
Boxing is still basically beating the shit out of each other, but like less flashy.
Less flashy. And okay. All right. I'm almost done.
I believe in you, man.
And yeah, the gloves are a lot more padded, but like
absolutely.
It was nuts. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. UFC is just a whole other thing, and it's just I can't imagine subjecting my body to that. That girl, JJ, she's 23 or 24.
What?
Isn't that insane? And Zhang is like 23.
Oh my god, they're
nuts.
younger than us.
Yeah.
Well, me. Are you still 23?
I'm 24.
Okay, cool. I was just like, wait a minute. I knew you were younger than me, but like not by much.
Not by much. You're 95, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both 95.
Okay, cool. Every time I bring that up, like at my office, everyone just kind of like glares at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just a boy. I'm just a wee little boy.
And then I didn't watch the main event because that took it out of me. I was like, fuck, that's enough for the night. And so we played some video games. Won a couple jackpots.
Dude, fuck yeah. On what? What'd you play?
Let's see. One of them was, okay. All right. I'm getting tortillas all in my teeth. One of them was an actual skill-based game. Who'd have thought? In an arcade. It was new. It was like this like throwing thing. And you had to like, it was like you threw at a target basically, and your score was calculated based on speed and accuracy. So you had to throw it really fast and like right at the middle. And then they have different zones, but if you hit the middle, like you get 3 throws and they multiply your speed and your accuracy, whatever. And then if you beat the top score, you win the jackpot. And your boy beat the top score.
How many times did you beat the top score then?
I only played it once.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. One time, one take,
one time.
One take, one try.
One take, one try. Wait. And I probably won because the only other people who were throwing it was children. So like,
Yeah. You literally are like double their age and like double their muscle mass.
Yeah,
You're just like, all right, let me just throw this, end this child's dreams. That's hilarious, dude. Holy shit. Wow. You know, every child that comes in there now is like, it's like a daunting feat for them to try to like beat that. Oh, it's a David Undefeated thing.
I will remain undefeated.
That's our boy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. And
dude,
came back.
David Buster's is just like a big Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of tight. It's great. Every time I go there, I get like shit. Yeah, there's like a beer pong game that you can play.
Oh yeah,
and I love that one because like I'm usually good at it, but it's like the ball is like thinner plastic.
It's super light.
Yeah, and the cups are like stainless steel,
so it bounces like a motherfucker.
Yeah, the moment it hits like anything other than just like straight through it, it just like shoots it back out at you, and I'm like, bitch, what?
Yeah, it's stupid, but
it's frustrating.
Carnival scam science.
Absolutely. Oh, it's the worst.
It's nuts.
I love that like any form of like strategy that actually gives you an edge actually like qualifies you to be like banned from the place. When it's just like you already have like they already have the edge, like just the fact that one person is beating you, you're just like nah, leave, like you can't do that. Like that's so crazy to me. Like the whole like Las Vegas thing of like just being able to like ban people because they were doing
they're like good because like they can count cards or they can do something that literally very few people can. Like hey, no, too good, get out. We're trying to like make people lose money, and you're ruining our system.
you can't do this.
You can't win. What the fuck? What do you think
you're
doing?
Pointless.
What do you think you're doing?
You're just throwing your money to us.
You think you're good? You think you're good at shit? Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
Oh, you think you know math? You think you're smart?
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Who knows math now?
This is Tiny. He's 7'4". He's gonna rip you in half and then throw you in 2 different dumpsters. All right. Cool.
Exactly.
Fuck. This table.
Every
time. I love how like everything that we're using is either like very loud if you touch it or wobbly. So it's just like
it's not ideal for an audio based fucking.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay.
Thing. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We're getting there, man. We're slowly but surely like living our best lives.
That's all that matters, dude. How's your week been? How you doing?
It's been good, man. I've had a good week. I guess we haven't recorded in 2 weeks, or like a week and a half.
Yeah.
We recorded in a week and a half
because we recorded. One extra before
I left again,
just to like have it in rotation. Yeah.
So it was good. I went to Wisconsin. I went snowboarding there, which who knew there's not a mountain. It's just a very big hill, but it was like a big enough hill to make it fun. Really. Yeah. Maybe it is a mountain. I don't think it's a mountain. I don't really know what it is. Anyways, it was fun. Went with my college roommates. We had a blast. The boys. I slid down the entire mountain on my back one time. I literally felt like a piece of paper just conforming to the mountain. Every little bump, my body would just roll over. And I tried to stop and I didn't. And I literally just like have my feet up in the air the whole time. And I was like, this is it. This is it. I'm going off the fucking edge. This is fucking it.
As the mountain is just like actually fucking you.
Yeah, that's exactly. Funny. That was fun. That was a really good time. Cool. And then trying to get an Uber back to the airport in Madison, Wisconsin. My flight was super early there. I had to get to the airport at like 4. Oof. And apparently it's a pretty quiet town between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m.
Wow, who would have thought?
Who'd have thought in Wisconsin? So I tried to order.
It's cold as shit too.
I tried. Yeah, it was so cold, dude. So snowy, and it was just I wasn't really prepared. But I tried to get an Uber, and I'm staying at my roommate's house with his girlfriend, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an Uber. I ordered it the night before. I scheduled it, and then 3 o'clock comes around, the time I'm supposed to be getting in the Uber, and it's like searching for nearby drivers. And I was like, fuck. Okay. It did that for like 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to be late if I don't get something now. I switched to Lyft. I'm like, there's one driver around. I'm like, cool. I order it. It's like, your driver is 30 minutes away. And I was like,
he's on a snowmobile.
Yeah. I was like, shit. Okay. So I'm like, oh my God, I felt like such a dick. But I went up to my roommate's bedroom door like this, and I like knocked on it, and I was like, Joe, can you take me to the airport, please? It's 3 a.m. and I told you wouldn't have to do this, but I have to go to the airport. And he's like,
and nobody will pick me up.
And he like just wakes up and he's like, yeah, I'll take you. And like, such a great guy. Glad he took me. But like, I felt bad.
What a good boy.
I felt so bad, dude.
I feel bad anytime I ask anybody to take me to an airport.
Yeah, anywhere. I feel bad anytime I ask anyone to do anything for me that they wouldn't have to do originally.
That's so Midwestern.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, if it's cool with you, it's not. It's totally okay. Like even if it's something that would greatly inconvenience me if they didn't do, I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. You don't have
I'll
to.
figure it out.
Yeah, don't worry. It's fine. Do your thing. Like I get it. You're busy. You're a busy person. You're very busy. But anyway, so he took me back. It was great. It worked out.
Nice.
And what else? had a studio session this week, which was really good, which reminds me of a really bad studio session that I had that I will have to tell you about.
Is it something we can talk about on?
It's something we could talk about on the pod.
Cool.
It's something we could talk about on the pod.
I follow like a lot of my friends are like in music, either in like kind of the label side or the photo video side or like the actual musician side. And every time like I see them doing their things, it's always so interesting like how different they all are.
Yeah.
And like I understand like kind of how labels work because it's like, oh, it's like business. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Photo video, that's my job. And then like the actual music side, like I can play instruments. I know how music works, but it's like I genuinely have no idea like how it works past that level.
Right.
So it's like every time I see like friends or something in like studio sessions and they're all just like doing stuff and I'm just like, man, what is happening?
Like, what is it?
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so cool. Like I love it. And that's the thing. I'm always just like,
I love hearing about like, just like the shit that you don't know about, like past like what everyone else sees. It's super cool to like, like about like the film industry, like editing even, like, cause I'm super into that shit, but I have no idea past like just the baseline, so it's super.
Well, plus too, like it, even if like you hit your 10,000 hours in your craft and like you're good at it.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every day there's like something you learn new or something that like clicks better in your head. Yeah. So it's like it's never something that you're like, all right, I'm a professional.
Yeah.
You're always just kind of like, oh, well, I'm gonna figure something else out. I'm gonna go learn this. There's a new update. I got to figure out where the fuck they moved that button. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of cool. And there's just like many facets of it. So like studio sessions and like things revolving around like actual performance-based music is just so fucking cool to me because I just don't understand it. Yeah. So it is cool. It is. Some of them are cool. I don't know. So the whole concept behind being a studio musician is like half the time it's like, you could be an engineer or you can be like a studio musician, which is kind of like the role I took on, even though it's like more of the producer vibe. Like some people will just be like, hey, I need a guitar player for the day, whatever. And so like a guitar player will come to the studio and like, here's the riff. Or like, maybe they'll just be like, I need a guitar riff. Can you come up with it? Whatever. They'll play it. Okay, good. They'll leave. So I took on that role essentially, but as like the producer. So it was a vocalist who was like, hey, I need a producer for this track, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like a co-writing session basically. So we go in, start from scratch. She's like, I want something like this. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's, whatever, collaborative process. That's usually how it goes. Right. But on the other side, you could also be like an engineer where it's like, I've got the beat, I've got the vocalist, I've got everything. And I just need you to go in the booth with, sit behind the console while I record my vocals and you like engineer the session and like kind of mix it as we go and whatever, and just like process it and whatever. So there's a couple different, roles you can take as a studio musician. Absolutely. But, so I was like just the producer in this session. It was a great session. But it reminded me of this time where I've had a couple of not so great sessions, and this one really sticks out in my mind. And real quick, before how long ago was it?
It was last year. It was almost a year ago. It was in like April last year. Cool. And I'm gonna try to be as vague as possible while also just like being very like straight to the point. So I'm not gonna. It was a studio session for a rapper. And
was this still in Indiana?
No. This was I was brought out to San Diego. Okay. I want to say no, San Jose.
So north of us.
North of us.
One of the Sands.
One of the Santas.
Okay. Cool.
Call back. And so they were like, yeah, we want to fly you out here and we'll do a studio session, whatever. We like your shit. And I was like, cool. So I'm like, the way it works usually with rappers is they work a lot quicker usually than like a pop singer or whatever who will have to like come up with like a melody and whatever. Cause like, dude, I don't know. Rappers are fucking talented as shit. They can just like type out a bunch of bars and then like just come up with a flow. Dude, I'm like, that's insane.
That's another thing that always like is so impressive to me. Cause like I have a lot of friends who do like just like beat production and stuff like that too. Yeah. But like talking to both like songwriters and like lyricists and also rappers, like how their process of how they create like flows or just like lyrics in general is just so interesting because everybody is so different. Yeah. But there's like a lot of like commonalities that like it's just kind of like, oh, I just like make the sounds of like the notes that I want and then just find words that fit it.
Exactly.
And like that kind of stuff. And like for somebody to just be like in a room and just like listening to a beat and just like typing out on their phone and then boom, they just have a whole verse going. I'm just like, that's insane. That is nuts. That is so crazy. That is so much both just like talent and just like like just hard work and just like learning how to do it.
It's crazy. And it's so cool just how different all of the creative processes are. Cause some people like, even though the commonality is like, I need to write lyrics for this song. It's like, there's still like, you can come up with the rhythm first. You can come up with the words first. You can like play on a piano and figure out the melody. Like there's so many different ways to go about it. And that's really cool. But anyway, so it's for a rapper. And so when I work with rappers, I like to come prepared with like 5 or 6 beats, either like fully made or like just kind of like ideas that are, fully fleshed out enough for them to lay down a verse on. And then I can just go from there.
Yeah.
So I had like, 5 or 6 beats to go to start off with. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah. First of all, it was a younger rapper.
Okay.
He's younger. And so he had his manager in there with him, and he had his jeweler in there with him. His jeweler. Let that set in.
This is like some fucking uncut gem shit.
Yeah, I was
just Adam Sandler sitting in a corner.
He's like, "What's up?"
He's like, "Hey, what's up?"
And so he had his jeweler in there, and midway through, his jeweler asked if I wanted grills at some point. He's like, "Do you want grills?" And I was like heavily considering it for a sec. I was like, and then I was like,
"You're like, how much do grills cost?"
Yeah, but that's the thing. I was like, "If are you gonna give it me for free?" And he's like, "No, but I can get you a discount." And I was like, "Okay, like how much of a discount?" And he's like, I can do a bottom set for $3,000. I'm like, okay, so a full set for $6,000. He's like, I can do a full set for $5,000. I'm like, well, no, I'm good. I'm not. First of all,
gotta pay taxes.
Yeah, are you kidding me? No, I'm good. I'm good on that. And also, is it appropriation? Not really sure. Gray area. So I was like, better not drop $5,000 on something like that.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. So anyway, so his jeweler's in there, and then
so that's weird.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, nice to meet you. I have like 5 beats. Like here. I'm just gonna play them through. You tell me which one you like. If you don't like any of them, start from scratch. You just give me like a reference, and I can make it. And he's like, okay, cool. So I play the first beat, like 2 seconds of it. He's like, that one, and I was like, oh, cool. The drums haven't come in yet at all. I was like, it's just like a piano intro, but shit, yeah, let's fucking run it. I was like, do you want to?
It's just a riser for 3.5 minutes. You cool with that?
It's like, do you want to hear like the rest of it? I was like, here's where the beat comes in. He's like, yeah, that one. I was like, okay, great, sounds great. So I'm like, what's most helpful for you? Do you want me to loop the beat? Do you want me to send it to you? You can listen like in your headphones and you write to it. He's like, just like loop it out loud for a little bit. I'm gonna sit here on the couch and write a verse. And I was like, okay, cool. So I press play and like looping the song over and over and over. And this guy's sitting in the back. He's like typing on his phone. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I can send you the beat if you don't want it out loud. He's like, keep playing it. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, I'll keep playing it. Looping and looping and
playing
looping.
Like Animal Crossing on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, what do I do? I was like, I don't want to seem rude and like, like be on my phone, but like, I'm just sitting here. So for an hour. So I sat there for the first hour. It was an 8-hour block that we had blocked out, an 8-hour session.
Okay. That sounds normal.
Yeah, it's normal. It's typical. And so he, after an hour of the song loop, it looped for an hour, for a whole hour. Like at somewhere like half an hour in, I was like, you good? You want me to stop it?
So
like,
what did you do
for an hour? Nothing. I sat there. I felt awkward as shit. I was like, okay, checking the time, like whatever. Kind of like I answered a couple texts, like. So then an hour goes by. Song had been playing for an hour. I stop it. I'm like, all right, cool. Do you want to? I was like, do you have something? He's like, yeah, I got something. I was like, okay, cool. And then he's like, he stands up and he's like, and he sits back down. He's like, actually, I don't have something. And I was like, you don't have anything? He's like, nah, I kind of like, I kind of got sidetracked. And I was like, okay.
He's just like on Instagram.
Yeah,
the whole time.
I think that's what he was doing. He was just like on Instagram. He's like a kid, dude, which is like, it's like.
No, when we say kid, like, do we mean like 15?
When I say kid, I mean like 13. Yeah. 13-year-old rapper. So the first hour goes by. He had nothing. He had written nothing.
Got sidetracked. He was
got
like on
sidetracked by Instagram, by all, his whatever. So I was like, okay. I was like, well, I can keep playing the beat, or I can just, you can just kind of go off of what you've been hearing for the last hour. I'm sure, you could just come up with a flow and then fit it. And he's like, okay, yeah, we'll stop it. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, I'm just going to write. So it's silent in the room, dead silent. And for another hour. So this is 2 hours in. And finally, after the second hour, he's like, all right, I got something. I was like, okay, fuck yeah, fine. Goes in the booth. We get him all hooked up. Press play. He raps about one bar, like, And then he just starts ad-libbing real bad. Like, not good ad-libbing, very bad ad-libbing.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah,
like,
that's the technical term.
Is that what they taught you in like music school?
Yeah, there's good ad-libbing and there's very bad ad-libbing. There's nothing in between. So he, instead of like trying to maybe like figure out, well, that's what he told me he was trying to do. He told me he was trying to figure out the rhythm for the rest of the verse, which first of all took him an hour to write a bar.
Yeah,
One bar, dude.
That's weird.
Which is like, walk up in the club, got a tiny penis. That's one bar. One bar, it took him an hour to write that.
Tight.
I'm sure that wasn't his bar, but look how easy it is to write a bar. Anyways, so although he's a kid, I'm not gonna talk about kid dicks on this.
Oh no.
Okay, so
I was like, what does a 13-year-old rap about?
That's
Especially a 13-year-old that has a jeweler.
that's the thing.
How the fuck does this kid
he
have
raps
a jeweler?
about all the money he has. Obviously it's like parents' money, but like his manager says he's not allowed to like say bad words in his music.
So they're really marketing to
they're really marketing to whatever.
They got their demographic dialed in. All right,
exactly.
Tight.
But he also raps about like, I think one of the lyrics in his songs is like something about how he like has a Bentley, but he can't even drive yet or something like. It's like, so I'm like, no, you don't have a Bentley.
Well, if you do have a Bentley, it's not in your name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like,
for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's just like, it's stuff that like rappers rap about, just like a lot less believable because he's 13. So, whatever, he lays down the first bar and then he starts going like, like he turns into Justin Bieber, but like saying that, like not saying anything, but just kind of like, like mouthing whatever. And I stopped the beat. I was like, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, was that it? He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what goes next. And I said, okay, well, here's the thing. It's been an hour. It's been 2 hours essentially. And he's like, no, you're right. I got this. So he hops out of the booth for like another 15 minutes. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, I got the first verse. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, great. You just need some pressure. By the first verse, he meant 4 bars. He had written 4 bars. And it has been 2.5 hours almost at this point. And so I'm like, all right, this is just goofy. So I went back and forth like this for the next like, for the first 4 hours, it was just like him hopping in the booth every 30 minutes, singing 1 bar, and then mouthing things. And I was like, this is absolutely goofy. So at 4 hours in, we take a break. We're like, let's get some food, whatever. And we go like around the corner, grab some food, come back. And then he's like, before we start, I got my plug coming through. And I was like, what? You're 13. What does that mean? What plug? What are you talking about? I'm like you're not bringing
like fucking gummy worms.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, for real?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I was like, you're not allowed to say.
A joke.
I was like, you're not allowed to say bad words, but you have a plug. I was like, what is happening? So this guy gets there and he's got this huge like grocery bag. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, yo, this is whatever, and this is my foreign snack plug. Dude's like, yo, I just got back from Europe.
That's the most 1% shit. Oh really? My God.
He's like, yo, these are the Oreos that they got in Amsterdam, like whatever. I'm like, because they run, like Nabisco and all those things run like specialty items that they don't run in the US.
Absolutely.
So he got him like a bunch of those.
Dude, this sounds like, when you watch like a movie on Nickelodeon and it's like the kids like the kids who's like selling contraband is just like it's like candy what you want, and shit.
And it's just
that's exactly what this is. This is a Nickelodeon movie.
It's exactly what it was.
Holy shit!
And I was like, wow, cool. And so he starts eating them, and like any normal person would be like, oh, you want to try? So I'm like kind of sitting there like, it kind of looks fucking good. And so I didn't ask him, but I was like, never once offered me anything. And I was like, oh, that's fine, whatever, I don't care. But so he had like the cereal and he's just like reaching in the bag and like eating the cereal, real crunchy, real fucking loud. And I'm like, all right,
as you're like with like your studio monitors, it's exactly, coming through the mic.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm like, okay. So whatever. Then just long story short, within those 8 hours, he wrote not even a full 16, like just. Not 60, like he recorded like pretty much 1 bar at a time. I had to splice all of that shit together. And then I was like, okay, so this is what we have so far. Like all of the takes, just the parts that you have rapped. And it was like maybe like 14 and a half bars. I'm like, all right, we need at least a 16 so then we can get to the hook, which you also have to write. And then you also have to write the next verse. and the next verse. I was like, there's a lot. This is like a 3.5 minute song, and you haven't even written 16 bars. And so,
this was how long? How long is it into the session at this point?
This was full 8 hours. Full 8 hours of the session.
Were done.
I was done with the session. He couldn't write 16. And I was like, okay. He's like, all right, see what you can do with that. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to. I was like, what do you want me to do? Spread out 14 bars over 3 minutes? What is this? Like, this is avant-garde as shit. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. And so he's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna work on writing like the rest. I was like, cool. Here's the beat. I will send you the beat right now. So I'll send you the beat. You can work on it whenever you want. I'm, and at this point, I'm leaving. I left tomorrow. I was there for a day. And
Jesus.
And
they paid for your flight, right?
They paid for flight, paid for the hotel, whatever.
Jesus,
it was nice.
Dude.
Yeah.
This is a 13-year-old.
13-year-old. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And so then the next day, they're like, I was like, do you want to hop in like a quick 2-3 hour session before we go to the airport? What's the deal? They're like, oh, we're still writing. And I was like, okay, cool. Just let me know. I was like, you have access to that studio. You have the beat now. If you want to record something, send it over to me. Let me know. Well, it's been almost a year and they haven't. So
tight.
There's that. But
cool.
I don't know if this is going to give away too much. You know what? Fuck it. This kid now has a song with DJ Khaled.
What?
Yep. He just put out a track with DJ Khaled.
That is not at all what I was anticipating was the follow-up to that story.
I know.
What the fuck, dude?
I know.
Does he just have like a ghost producer like writing his shit for him?
I would assume he has people like helping write his shit. Cause like at one point they asked me, they're like, okay, can you just like write shit for him? I'm like, well, I'm not a fucking rapper. I'm like, have you heard? I was like, I have a joke rap like project and I rap about me being a piece of shit with a small penis. Like, do you really want me to write stuff like that for this guy?
I don't think that fits his demographic.
Yeah.
Like his look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was like, I don't think that's him. But that was it. But yeah,
dude,
he put out a song with DJ Khaled.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, you can put that on a resume. That's kind of
yeah.
tight. Like,
it's tight as fuck. I mean, that's the thing. Like this kid, like he's doing
it.
Well, he's doing it. Obviously, he has a song with DJ Khaled, so he's like well connected. You know, he's I'm not gonna like say any more about like who this kid might be, but like he is well connected because I'm assuming of the resources that he has at his disposal. But it's like, I mean, good for him, but like, man, it was what an 8-hour day. It was absolutely insane.
They flew you across the country.
They flew me
to
from
do
Indiana
basically nothing
to
That's
like
amazing.
California to sit there for 8 hours and pay me by the hour. So
holy shit!
Yeah,
dude.
it was
That's
nuts.
insane.
It was nuts. It was absolutely insane. So like that definitely sticks out in my mind as like one of the worst studio sessions ever. But
dude, so like when you are like in that position that you are in that studio session, are you kind of like managing the room? Like, are you kind of just like, hey, we got to do this. Like, what about this, and
for
this?
the most part, I mean, unless it's like either like an established songwriter or like just like a very professional like other person I'm working with, in which case it's like super like I never really truly like feel like I have to like prod people to do stuff like because that's not a collaborative environment. Like you don't want to feel like you're like herding cows.
When you get to that point in your career, like when you're in that kind of environment, like you've already like kind of whittled out the people that aren't like the hard workers.
Exactly.
So that kind of makes sense.
Exactly. But like, you know, every once in a while you get those people who are like, I need a studio session, whatever, like, and they just kind of throw money at it, not really having a plan. But most of the people that I'm in sessions with, very professional, very talented, and they like manage their time, and they're obviously this is their project and they care very deeply about it. So they are, you know, the whole 8 hours or the whole 4 hours or however long we're in there, we're working. We'll knock out like 3 solid ideas, whatever. And so it's usually like that, but then it's, you know, people who have either never done it and have the money to throw at it, or it's usually people like that where it's like I'm kind of having to be like take, you know, the front seat and the back seat because I have to let them do their thing, and I can't be like, okay, you have to do this and this and this because it's their session, but I also have to be like, okay, let's, you know, I kind of like, let's get on track, let's do this, let's, you know, okay, do you have this for me? Like, so give and take, but it's fun. It's a fun process regardless, you know, you get a good story out of it, or you get, you know, a nice connection and you have a fun session. Either way, it's fun. Fair enough. Yeah. What about you? What have you been up to the past week and a half?
Not really a lot. It's been kind of nice, to be honest with you.
Dude, that sounds great.
I rap on the show that I'm on currently.
You rap? You want to hop in a studio session?
You want me to rap? Hell no.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
I could perform, cannot write.
Sick.
Absolutely
Sick.
No way I could write anything, but I could definitely perform it.
Oh, let's do it.
But I'm actually down if you want to. Let's do that.
I'm down.
But there's like, pretty much like every time you kind of start a project, there's like an out date. Like you kind of know when you're going to not be working anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
And so like when when I got on, they were like, all right, it's going through March. Like, this is your date. And then like as March started coming around, I was like, well, I gotta like start looking for more work and stuff. So sending out resumes, like calling people, sending emails and stuff. And I get like 6 calls in one day from like 6 different production offices. And they're just like, hey, like we got your resume from like so-and-so, like wanted to see like what your availability was.
Yeah.
And like usually when they're asking you for your availability, like they've already looked at your rate, they've already looked at like what you're doing, and they're pretty much like, we will hire you if you're available.
Yeah,
like
totally.
That's kind of how that goes. And so like all of them were just like, yeah, so we're looking for someone to start on Monday. It is Thursday at like 3:30. And I was like, I wrap in another like 3 weeks, guys.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I was like, I can't do that. And I was just like, either when that happens, either the person has left that job, like they're just like, hey, I got a better offer, or like I can't do it anymore, etc.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that can happen. Or they ran out of money. Or they just straight up didn't plan for it. Like that's pretty much what happens. The first one, like the other person leaving, is usually like the more kind of like kosher one. Like it's still shitty if like you leave a production like before you even do something on it, or like you leave early. But like usually it's because of extenuating circumstances, or you just got like a dope offer that's like much better to further your career. And pretty much everybody in post is very chill about that. If you like do like a lateral move, like just to another show, it's like if you're a night assist and you go to another show as a night assist and it's still like non-union, anything like that, it doesn't matter. Like that's kind of, people are like, why'd you do that? That's weird. Like it didn't move you forward in any way. So finally I get to the end of it, and the company I've been working for is on the west side of LA. It's in Culver City, and been literally one of the best experiences of my entire life. I've worked there for like a year and a half on like 4 different shows now. And like they brought me in as a PA, trained me up to night, and then bumped me to lead assist, all within like the space of like a year and a half.
That's incredible.
And like I learned so much. They're literally the greatest people ever. One day when I get my Emmy, I'll just be like, yo, thank these 3
Shouts
people.
Out. Yeah.
And the whole time I was just like, man, I just really wish I didn't have to drive an hour and 15 minutes every day to work, because like I live in NoHo, where it's cheap as shit, and I love it, but I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, no, that's
and like
nuts.
at the rate that I'm at like the rate that they're paying me, it's fine. Like I'm cool with it, but it's getting to a point where I'm just like, I can feel it in my lower back, and like my seat warmers in my car aren't kicking it anymore.
Oh no.
So I'm just like, all right, this isn't gonna work anymore. And I found out that the same company has a union office where all of like their shows are union, like, and I think 6 of them are like on Netflix. And I was like, I found out that they had one that's literally 6 minutes from my apartment. And I was just like,
Yeah.
So I walked into like our head of post, and which she wasn't there. And then I like walked back into my supervisor's office, and there she was. And I was just like, you. And she was like, oh, hey, what's up? And I was like, question, I'm wrapping soon. Do you have anything in the Burbank office? I really would like that. That'd be tight. And she was like, are you union eligible? And I was like, well, I did the paperwork like last year. And she was like, send me your resume. And I was like, sick. So I just walked back to my little bay, sent it to her real quick. And she comes back like a week later, and she's just like, hey, just verifying stuff, but you're probably going to be on it on like the 16th.
That's
and so
sick.
she was like, I've already talked to like your supervisor. We'll see, like, basically you'll either finish out that last week on your show, which is pretty much just like archival work. Like it's pretty much, I sit down, look at everything from our show that I'm like, all right, what could we possibly need or use for the next season, if there is a next season? Because the show I'm working on is for HGTV.
Yeah.
And the way HGTV structures their contracts is basically every time you sign for a show, you have to deliver them 2 seasons. And it doesn't matter like the length of the season, like that you agree upon that in deliberation. I don't know how that works. So this was the 2nd season of that show. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, it's a pretty good show. Like I could see HGTV being like, this is kind of tight, let's bring it back. The gimmick is kind of lost its way because it was kind of hinging on one of the locations of like a hurricane in the past couple of years. And it was like a house flipping show in that area. And so Super Cool came out like a year after that happened. And I was like, this is like just a dope idea for a show. And so the 2nd season happened, and it's just like, still cool, still good. Like the couple that does it is very good on camera. Like they're just a good TV couple basically. And team was great and everything like that, but it's like I don't know if it's going to get renewed, but I also don't know if it's not. Like that's kind of the thing. So I sit down, look at the project, and I go, okay, we'll need our interviews that we shot, we'll need all the B-roll from both season 1 and season 2 backed up on other drives, and we'll need obviously all of the projects, and we'll need all of our script sync. So because there's a beautiful thing in Avid for anybody who doesn't actually know how like the editing process works. It's different dependent upon what system you're working in, just because they all have different infrastructures. Right. So the industry as a whole, its standard is Avid Media Composer. That's kind of just how it is. It's how it's been for forever. Premiere's gaining ground. Final Cut came in for a little bit. Final Cut shot itself in the foot. Now it's coming out. And really? It's kind of wonderful. But so in Avid, we have a thing called Script Sync, which is basically you can literally take a text file of your script, throw it into it, grab like your groups that have like the words that they're saying from that script, drop it into it, hit a button, and it literally drops a point on your group for where so like cool, that dude. Is. So you can like double click on it and just takes you to the footage of where they say that.
That's
in the
amazing.
Line. And it like
a cool technology,
dude. It like that alone is well worth that software. Like especially if you're working in features and reality and stuff like that. Yeah. Just because reality, you have to get all that shit transcribed. Like there is no script, right? So for you to be able to have that, like Frankenbiting and stuff like that, is very invaluable, and it's honestly incredible. So a lot of it is just kind of like taking those interviews and those scripts, backing them up, throwing them on a drive, leaving them in an office somewhere until maybe they get it or not. Right. So that's literally what would like my last week would be. That was a huge aside, but like that's basically what my last week on a job would be, is just archiving that. So I basically hit a button and then watch a loading bar for like 4 hours. Like that's kind of what the job is for that last week. So my supervisor is like, so if you do leave like a week early, basically I would just have my night assist do like a swing shift, which is usually from like 1 to 9 p.m. And then they would just finish out the show, wrap it out, do all the archival. Basically I would set everything up this week and do it for them. Tight. And then they came back and they was like, hey, so we don't really know whether you like when you're actually going to be starting. And I was like, what does that mean? And I was like, because I kind of would like to be making money. Yeah. And so she was just like, well, you're either going to start next week or the week after that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's tight. I'm like, I'm fine with that. So he's like, you'll either wrap a week early on this show or you'll finish out the show and then move on to the next one immediately. And I was like, tight. So basically just waiting for that. But basically I start next Monday on my first union show. So that'll be kind of cool.
Congrats, man. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So it'll be on Netflix. And it's kind of funny because like the supervisor on that show was a supervisor at the office I was at. So like I just work for this other guy that was like always around, and I love the dude to death. Like one of the chillest dudes. But it's funny because he has like a he has like a superstition in his mind that like every show that he goes to is just like a mess that he has to clean up. Yeah. And so I'm just like, he was telling me about like what everything that was going on it, and I was like, we'll make that work. Yeah, it's fine. Manageable. It's no big deal. I was like, we'll make it work. It's fine. But it was just really funny that I was just like, I'm just shifting like basically just everybody who was on this show is now just on this one. Dude, and it's so nice. But like the interesting thing about it is that like union show and like union pay and stuff like that is just like very different from most shows, I guess, because like a lot of things people think are just like, oh, you know, like they shoot it, they edit it, they kick it out, whatever. Right. But there's like hundreds of people. Like if you watch credits for anything, there's a lot of it. Yeah. And so like going from like non-union to union is difficult because like no one really tells you what the fuck you're supposed to do. And I was lucky enough to have like a lot of like mentorship along the line, being like, hey, you got to do this like once you hit this point. And I was like, cool, sounds good. So like I did it, and it was just such a nightmare because it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, but it was still like I had to bring all of these documents that I wasn't sure if they were the right documents or not, do everything, like get it all done, submit that, wait X amount of time, because it's different for each like role that you're going into. Yeah. So like for assistant editors, you have to work 100 days on a non-union show, and that I think they either have to be 10 to 12 hour days, like build wise. And so that happened last year, the day before my birthday. So that was kind of tight. So I like walked in on my birthday and like submitted all the paperwork. It was kind of nice. That's tight. But it's just interesting, like the jump between the two, because like nothing really changes. Yeah. It's just there's a lot more money behind the other one. Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, cool. It's like, well, I can afford to live here now, so that's tight. But like my whole goal in like my career was to make it onto like union stuff before I was 26.
And
just
you
so
are,
that when
24.
once I get kicked off of my parents' insurance, I can just roll onto the union insurance. But now I'm just like, I'm gonna probably do that now.
2 years ahead, my
like
man.
Sick. So
That's tight.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
That's basically
awesome.
what
That's
my last
a big,
week
huge
was.
accomplishment,
Dude, it's
hats
pretty cool.
off for Brian, everyone.
Thanks, buddy.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
guys.
It was super cool.
Yeah, so
I'm proud
like,
of you, man.
yeah, I did that. I'm finishing up like a project I've been working on with one of my friends from college. That's like, she's incredibly busy, but she's also incredibly talented.
Hell yeah.
And I'm also pretty busy, so it's been like a nightmare to try to coordinate like when to actually cut these things and like get it out to people. And so like we've been working on it for like months, and it's just like a scene. So it's like not intensive, but it's always like she's day playing on this show, day playing on this film, doing all this stuff, and then like I'm working for like 10 hours a day basically. So it's like it's hard to coordinate that. And so like we're finishing that up hopefully on Tuesday of this week, which will be nice.
Yeah.
And then I've just been like replaying God of War because I watched a streamer like play it again.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, man, I want to play that game.
I missed that
again.
game.
Dude. It's so good. It's
a great
so
game.
good. I'm like, I think the first time I played it, I just like didn't do like 60% of the game because like now I'm playing through. I was like, man, I don't remember any of this.
It was fucked.
I was like, this is insane. So I was like, this is still great. It's 2 years old. I'm still seeing new shit. So like, excuse me,
dude, that chair is. No pun intended on its last leg. It's insane how broken it is.
I'm like kind of scared that it's just gonna like shatter while I'm sitting on it right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is bad.
It would make for great content, though.
I'm also
so think about it.
It would be. That's the trade-off. I can either get like physically hurt and get some sick content, or just baseline everything else.
Yeah,
dude, this is like
I
I have like one ass cheek on it
It's-
because I'm just like trying to like do like 1 point of contact and just like hoping for the best.
It's a little sketchy.
I'm scared. I'm a little
Oh
scared.
wow, that's quite wobbly.
I don't like that. Oh shit. Okay. Well, damn.
Dude, fuck. Well, congrats, man. That's really
Thanks, buddy.
exciting.
I appreciate
That's really
it.
exciting.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to not have an hour and 15-minute commute.
God, dude,
One
that's
way.
gonna make
That's
such a
one
big.
way.
I know you're like 3 hours almost round trip. Like that's gonna make you have 3 extra hours in your day, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And realistically, I could walk to this office from my building.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of stoked on that.
What a great fucking work setup.
Yeah, and I think
nice.
I think that schedule is it's pretty much everything's always billed on a 10-hour day, but you don't usually work that long unless like you have like things that you need to kick out.
Yeah.
So like my schedule is 11 to 7.
Wow.
If like we're looking at it like how I was working at the last place, it's 11 to 7, which means I can go to like the gym and like do some shit in the morning, and then like go to work, which is tight just because
sick.
I live so close now.
That's sick.
And I was like, oh, this is just like this is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
I'm just stoked on it. It's gonna be great. I'm
So
excited.
fucking cool.
Thanks,
That's
buddy.
so cool, man.
Thanks, buddy.
God damn.
We're out here. We're
We're out
doing
here.
things.
We're doing the things we got to do to be out here.
Exactly.
And stay out here.
Right.
And
Dude,
thrive out here.
It's also weird too to like back in high school, I was like, I'm gonna go get a computer science degree. I'm gonna go work at Microsoft, just code the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like that was my goal in high school. And like now this is like it's literally been like what, maybe 10 years since I had that first thought.
Yeah.
And like this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like just such a very vast
super
departure
different.
from it. Yeah.
Super different.
And it's like so cool. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I'm still just like a kid from shitty ass South Bend, Indiana.
Yeah.
And like my name's on TV now, so fuck it, whatever.
Are you gonna be on these Netflix credits too?
Yeah.
Dude, I will fucking watch
It's gonna
out
be
for
tight.
you.
It's gonna be tight.
That's so exciting.
Thanks, buddy.
Dude.
I'm actually kind of like I've always loved like food based things, and the show is like a competition barbecue show.
Oh, fuck.
And I was just like, they told me that, and they're just like, does that sound interesting to you? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds great.
100%.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of cool, and it's interesting because like I want to get into scripted at some point because obviously, of course, I do.
Yeah.
But also too, it's like reality is like neat in its own way, and I'm also just not picky. So it's like if someone's gonna pay me to do something that I like doing, I'm gonna do it. Like,
Yeah,
I
of
don't
course.
give a shit.
Of course.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now, where it's just like I'm not rushing it because I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to like do all this grinding now, get to where I want to be by the time I'm like 27, 28, but like be completely tired and dead and
burnt
shit
out
like
on what
that.
you're
So I'm just
doing,
like, I'll just kind of like chill, just go from like thing to thing, and then like
with the flow.
once the opportunity presents itself, capitalize on it.
100%.
But until then, I'm just gonna keep working to set myself up for that, but I'm not gonna kill myself to get there. And that's kind of like
smart, dude.
that's kind of like how I've been looking at it, because when I first started, I was like very like,
You're like, I need to like just go.
yeah,
go,
exactly.
go.
Because I was like, I'm so far behind. Like all these other kids have like Netflix and Hulu credits and shit. But then I was like, oh, they're like 27, 28, and they're still PAs.
Yeah.
I need to like chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I'm working in reality, and these kids are working on like, network television shows, but I'm a lead assistant editor and there's still like a PA. So
Yeah.
like, and that's not to knock like where they are in their life. Like everybody works at their own stage, their own pace, totally cool. But it was like, that was the competition in my head that I was weighing, where I was like, oh, I need to be where they're at. But it's like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm actually further ahead now than where they were, definitely.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I need to just
that's why you can't like compare yourself, you know,
which is
comparison
so
is
it's
the
so
thief
hard.
of joy.
Yeah. And it's so hard in like a creative industry.
It is.
And it's, yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah. And you see what everyone else is doing, but you never know, really.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
never really know what everyone else is doing. You know, you get the highlight reels, you get the like, what you hear about them talking about what they're doing. But it's like, okay, you know, there's so much more that goes behind it that it's just like, you can't be happy and be like, fuck, like this person's doing this. And like, I'm not, you know, it doesn't, you can't.
Absolutely. And like, that's like the whole shit about it is that like, I don't want to get to a point where I'm unhappy doing what I'm doing, because I know that like this is something that gives me a lot of joy. Shooting and editing my own stuff gives me a lot of joy. Working with people that I like gives me a lot of joy. So like, if my actual career is like still tangentially related to those things, because like I'm still working in post, I'm still like on track to like edit stuff that goes on like TV, like very quickly, which I'm like still mind boggled about. And then like all of these things present themselves, and it's just like, okay, if I'm not fully 100% invested in the thing that I'm working on in my career wise, there's still all these other things that I'm working on that are still like what feeds everything else. Yeah. So like I just use my career to just fund all this other shit, which I feel like is what most people do. Yeah. But it's like, oh, like I'm doing that now. Yeah. And it's wild. And
that's cool, man.
Cool as shit.
It's super cool.
And I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
And I'm just so stoked to be doing all this shit.
We're so proud of you.
Thanks,
F1.
man.
Me and all our
thanks, guys.
2 viewers.
Thanks all 14 of you.
No, fuck. Dude, that's terrifying.
I'm so
that's
scared.
Really scary.
I'm so scared.
Have you ever been to Sport Clips?
No, but I've driven past one. Does that count? I've seen one.
You've seen one.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
exist.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
exist.
yeah. Unfortunately.
I had never been to a Sport Clips until last week. I usually get my hair cut at like a salon. You know,
cool.
Like a fancy little, nothing wrong with that. But I didn't want to have to go through the process of finding a whole new salon.
Also,
and do
like
the whole thing.
Going to like a salon in LA is like $150.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's so fucking stupid.
I found a barbershop in Echo Park that I love.
Nice.
Mostly because one, I fucking love Echo Park.
Yeah, Echo Park's great.
So like every couple of weeks, I just like drive down there, get my hair cut, go to the coffee shop that's literally right next door. It's my favorite coffee that I found in LA so far. Get that, and then now that like Megan's here and like she actually has like time on the weekends, a lot of times like she'll go with me and we'll like go find like a brunch place. Nice. And it's been super sick.
That's cute. I love that.
That's how I've like found to like roll it into it and also like find a place that you like instead of a Sports Clips.
Exactly. So I might have to do something like, although, you know what? So I had to go to a Sports Clips for the first time last week because I didn't want to find a salon, didn't want to pay salon prices here to get a men's haircut. And I had never been to a Sports Clips before. So I walk in and there's like a row of chairs and there's like 3 like older dudes sitting in there. Looks like they came in on their break. They look like super like suited up, whatever the fuck. I'm like, all right, this is interesting.
Their hair's like perfectly put together. It's like they pop it off every night, put it on a thing.
Exactly. They've got NASCAR on the TV, like like on every TV because it was some NASCAR season, I guess, a couple weeks ago or a week ago. Who the fuck knows?
Sports Clips.
Sports Clips. Welcome. Come for the sports. Stay for the clips. And they, that's their motto. And they're playing NASCAR. And I thought it would have been cool if there was like video games hooked up to the TVs or something like that. I would much rather do like, you know, play Madden or something instead of watching NFL games. Right. But anyways, so I had no idea what the process was. So I just like sit down and this like Russian lady is like swooping up hair. She sees me come in and sit down. She's like, hey, check in. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't know how to check in.
You're like, oh no, please don't hurt me.
And then I notice the computer and I'm like, okay, cool. So I like go and I like type my name in and then it's like, we don't recognize this name. Is this your first time? And I was like, yes. And it's like, you've automatically been upgraded to our MVP package. And I was like, okay, cool. So I sit down and then she comes up and she's like, hey, you're next. And I was like, okay, cool. So she sits me in the chair and she asked me what I want. And I'm like, okay, just kind of like 1 or 2 on the sides, maybe blend it at the top and then, you know, just get some off the top. And she's like, okay, I can do that. And she's like, do you want the hot towel? And I said, okay, I'll have a hot towel. She's like, okay, that's after. And I was like, okay, well, okay. So she cuts my hair and whatever, it looks great. And then she's like, now follow me. So we go to the back. And it's a dark back area.
This is where she kills you with that broom.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like a couple of sinks. And she's like, lay in chair. And I sit in the chair and she's like, pull lever. And I was like, what? Pull lever. There's a lever right next to me and I pull it and the footrest comes up. And immediately once the footrest comes up, the chair starts vibrating. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And she's like,
she's like, fuck your brains out.
Like, what is this? And, you know, she leans me back into the bowl and she's like, okay, stay here. I'm like, yep, wasn't really planning on going anywhere. She goes to this locker in the corner of the room and she comes back and she's like, my face is back like this. And all of a sudden she slaps this towel on my face. She like puts it down very forcefully. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was like covering my nose. I was like, shit.
She waterboards you?
I was like, what's going to happen? And then she like makes a little donut around my nose and my mouth. So like, it's like kind of like this is poking out. And it was like pretty hot. The towel's hot. I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, I don't know how comfortable this is. And then she starts like massaging my face very forcefully. Like she's in there. She's in like under my eye sockets, like pulling back like this.
She's about to give you JJ's face.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you trying to mold me? She's like pulling my eyebrows and I'm like, what? Like with this hot towel. And I'm like, what is happening? This is so weird. And I was like, I mean, it's kind of nice, whatever. She's like pushing my jaw. And I was like, that was very interesting. And then she keeps it on my face and she like washes my hair with really hot water. It was so very, very hot. And then, and then, you know,
burns your scalp.
Yeah.
That's how they cut your hair is they just like give you 3rd-degree burns on your head.
They cauterize it and they're like, it will not grow anymore. So then that was over. And then she took me back to the chair and I thought that was done. I was like, okay, cool. And then, so I'm like walking past the chair. She like grabbed me. She's like, sit. And I was like, oh, we're still going. Okay. And then she puts a towel over my shoulders and then she pulls out looks like a vibrator, like this huge like wand thing. And I was like, there's other people here. I was like, what is,
excuse me, miss, this is not for public.
I was like, yeah, what is this? And then,
I'll subscribe to your OnlyFans page.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, it was just a little much. And so then she puts it on my shoulders and she's like, this is nice. Yes. I was like, yep, thank you. This is MVP package. Free upgrade. Next time you come back, $5 more. I'm like, that only costs $5.
You're like, oh, sick. Okay.
I was like, that's not bad. Whatever. But then I pay and I get out of there and she gives me like 5 free like haircut coupons for my friends. She's like, here, you bring friend back. I give them all free haircut. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, do I get one for referring them? I was like, if I refer them, do I get one? And she's like, no, you've already been here. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. She's like, ask for Anna next time. And I was like, okay, I'll ask for you next time. She's like, I will be here.
She's like, I'm not that.
Yeah. I was like, who the fuck wait, who's Anna? She doesn't actually work there.
It's just the same woman, but like 7 inches taller. She just like walks out of the back. It's like every time she steps, like the whole building vibrates.
Shakes. So that was that. But then I had another experience with a Russian lady at Aroma. I went to Aroma the other day and just catching up with a friend. And so I'm like sitting there. It was late. It was like 10 p.m. So they're about to close in an hour. So we're just like sitting at a table, just like talking. And so there weren't a lot of people there. And then this Russian lady walks in, like very tall, high heels, very tight dress, and a tiny little dog that she's holding in a purse. And the dog has a tutu on. And this lady has just a ton of Botox.
Honestly, this is kind of sick.
It was great. It was great. It was great. I was like, hell yeah. It was like, that's a cool dog, whatever. It has like a tutu on and the tutu had little dogs on. It was just very interesting. So she sits down, she pulls out her computer and she's like kind of behind me. And then all of a sudden I hear, hey, excuse me. And I'm like, there's no way she's talking to us. There's absolutely no way. So we just kind of keep talking, whatever. And then she's like, hey. So I turn around. Do you know how to hotspot? And I was like, what? Do you know how to use a hotspot on your phone? I was like, yeah. She's like, can you help me with mine? I was like, okay, cool. I've abandoned the accent. It's too much.
Okay, because I was just like, did she just like lose it?
She didn't lose the accent. Okay, I've just abandoned it, but very thick Russian accent. And she's like, can you help me with this hotspot? And I was like, yeah, I can. Sure, whatever. So I try to turn it on and it says like you know, this isn't included in your data plan or something. I was like, oh, it looks like, you know, you need to call AT&T or go on their website or something. She's like, can you go on their website for me? And I was like, sure.
She's now asking this random person for tech support.
I was like,
in a fucking restaurant.
She's like, you look like you know what you're doing. I was like, what does that mean? I look like a fucking nerd. She's like, yeah, you with the glasses. Come help me with my phone.
Hey, fucking Four Eyes, get over here.
Hey, come here. So I was like, okay, do you know your username and password? I don't have one. No, I'm pretty sure you do because you have a phone plan, so you kind of have to have a username and password.
Isn't my phone. I just beat some dude up outside.
I just took this from fucking...
it's my dog's phone.
From Anna.
Anna. This is Anna too.
This is Anna's phone. And I was like, she's like, can you just make a new one for me? I was like, you want me to make a username and password for you on your cell phone plan? Yes. I don't think I can do that. I don't think it's a good idea. And she's like, okay, can you call AT&T for me? And I was like, no. I was like, why? I was like, can you call them? I don't know any of your information. And she's like, I'm trying not to talk on the phone too much because I just got like whatever. She had like a big bandage right here. So maybe some kind of like lip filler or some kind of whatever the fuck. And I was like, okay. She's like, I need to work right now. And I was like, okay, then I was like, can you go home
right now? It's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I was like, the place is closing.
Yeah. I was like, I was like, just go home. And she's just like, they used to have Wi-Fi here and they don't, but I need a hotspot. I was like, okay, well, your options are call AT&T and set up your hotspot right now at 10 p.m., which is probably going to take an hour, in which case they will be closed, or take that next hour and just go home. I'm sure you could get anywhere you need to go, however far you are from home, in the next hour because it's 10 p.m. And she said, no, I need this now. So I managed to finally like convince her to call AT&T.
What the fuck?
She's on the phone with AT&T at 10 p.m. walking around the restaurant. She just doesn't sit. She's like walking around on the phone with AT&T. And I was there until it closed, and we all had to leave. And
we don't know what happened with this woman.
Don't know what happened. Don't know why she needed to work right now, and she needed a hotspot. And I don't know. I truly don't know. It was so weird.
That's so bizarre. What the fuck?
She had no social awareness. I was like,
that's a lot of people
in the middle. Yeah, that's true. I was
a lot of people
in the middle of a conversation. And she's just like, hey, set up a hotspot on my phone. And then she asked me if I could hotspot for her. And I'm like, I don't know if I really want to use that much data.
Don't have that.
Yeah. And then she's like, she asked my friend, do you want a hotspot for me? And she's like, no, I'm okay. Like, I don't know if I have it either. I'm like, it's just like so many questions. Go home. Work on your own laptop. Or, hey, maybe there's a Starbucks nearby because there's a Starbucks on every corner. Or go home.
That's wild.
Yeah,
do your work on your phone. You have the data.
Exactly.
Just do it
that
way.
Way.
I don't know.
So,
what
I don't know.
The fuck? That's wild.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Russian ladies be wilding this week. They're out here.
That's the moral.
That's the moral.
That's today's moral.
Russian ladies be wilding this week.
Oh my god.
Well, last week. Maybe not this week, but last week they were wilding.
I mean, it could be this week too.
It could be this week.
We don't know. It's still early.
You never know.
It's still early in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
and that's
god.
That.
Dude, what a wonderful last like week we've had.
A good week. Yeah.
Dude, I like going back to the fucking sports clips things. I can't do the face towel anymore because like I used to love it. Mm-hmm. But like ever since I got my nose pierced, every time they like pull it off my face, it hooks on it and like, pulls
it's like
me
uncomfortable.
Up. So there was this like, you want a hot towel? I'm like, no, I'm fine.
No,
please.
thank
like,
you.
Please don't hurt me.
No.
Yeah. That's my thing with hot towels.
Yeah.
They always do like the straight razor thing with my neck, which I love.
I love that. It feels
so, like,
good.
Yeah, they do like the hot towel back there.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please don't put it on my face.
Yeah, just
I'll
like
cry.
keep it on my neck. That's fine.
I will cry.
Yeah.
It'll be bad.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time. What a wonderful time. Jesus. Yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty sure we're hitting our hour mark.
We're definitely
right now.
We're over the hour. Yeah.
Oh hey,
like
wow.
110.
Hey, look at that. We made some progress.
We made some progress.
We made a lot
this shit
longer.
Easy. Hey, this podcast shit easy, dude.
We just need more corgi butts. That's all we
need. More corgi butts, and maybe we'll start having some people on, dude. Maybe we can coordinate that for next time. We'll have to figure it out. Maybe the next couple of times, but
yeah, I mean, we can always just ask like whoever we want. Just be like, yo,
yeah,
when works for you?
When works for you? Let's hop on the pod. Yeah, it'd be a little interesting. You know, you gotta mix it up.
Yeah,
gotta mix it up a little bit.
Add some more people to it.
Yeah,
have some fun with it. That's the whole point. Again. Having fun with your friends.
Having fun. Hey, make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so we can read that shit because we want to start reading shit, or comment on YouTube or something, you know?
Yeah. Leave us something fun.
Something fun that we can read, or a story or something we can share, because we want to start, engaging with you guys and, want to bring you into this. This is an inclusive space. And if you are presumably our friend sitting at this table, we don't ask you anything.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a pretty one-sided thing.
Exactly. It's very much just like you're sitting like near us at lunch. It's kind of how it is. So it's like, oh, we might as well get some, or we need some interaction. We want to hang out with you guys. So please
tell us your stories. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review. Leave us a shitty review. Maybe we'll roast you in the comment. You know, whatever. Something.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Roast us. Give us your best roasts.
Yes. And please don't be Brian Eats Slow, because I fucking know. And this time I actually ate twice as fast as him. So shut up. I'll fight you.
All right. Well, hey guys, this has been episode 4. That's a whole month of doing podcasts.
Damn, dude.
And we will see you guys next time. Middle of the day, middle of the week.
That was so soft. Bye.
We'll see you next time. Everybody. Middle of the day, middle of the week.
Wow, that didn't clip. Amazing. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.